Welcome to the Old World Fanatics, your Warhammer Fantasy podcast to quench your hobby thirst for all things the old world. I'm one of your hosts, Gomo, and I'm joined by Andrew and Josh. How's everyone today? New location for Andrew?
Not bad.
Busy.
Yeah. Busy?
Yeah, banished to the shed.
The shed. Is this the new, are we looking at the new studio? Old World Fanatics studio?
Not quite, but I'll give you a quick little
Did you
tour.
lose that argument with the better half? Is that what happened?
No. So,
Oh, he's unplugged his
Oh,
laptop
no.
moving it around.
Yes.
We didn't practice this.
Oh, no.
He'll be back.
That was-
He'll be back. How are you?
Yeah.
How are you, Josh?
I'm good. I'm good, man.
It's good.
I was really looking forward to having a
to
tour
seeing
of your
this.
shed, but
Yeah. Hopefully he
I
fixes it.
feel like I missed
He
out.
also, I'll cover for him while he's trying to fix it. He's also lost all his headphones and stuff in boxes somewhere. So he's
Yeah.
he's scrounging technology, at least joining us tonight. So that's good. Well, hopefully
Yeah.
he'll
I
come
think
back.
he's had to borrow his wife's
Maybe you
work
monitor
headphones, I think.
the chat, Josh, and see if he sends any,
Oh,
any
yeah.
messages for us. Anyway, welcome guys for another episode. Well, I can't believe we're actually. I know we had our 50th birthday.
We did.
like 2
50th
weeks ago,
weekday.
but this is like the 52nd. So technically, it's a year, and it's just
This is the 1 year
I can't believe it's
anniversary,
landed on the
yeah.
week of Castle Assault when we decided to. Well, we didn't decide to do the podcast then, but we
No,
we
it was a few
wasn't-
weeks later, wasn't
wasn't
it?
far after. Yeah, it was. Yeah, we sort of talked about it a little bit later, but no, it's just weird. Can't believe we're still doing it, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess Andrew has gone for a bit, so we'll keep pushing on through some shout outs and hopefully he will join at some point.
Yeah.
I'd say his internet's
Yeah.
gone. It's raining
Yeah.
heavy where he is too, so I don't know, maybe it's just bad timing. Anyway, before we start, we do need to give a quick shout out to our patrons. The funny thing is, though, we have changed. We're shouting out the monthly ones, and obviously it's just the beginning of the month, so there is no new patrons this month. But we will get to shout out our normal crazy Patreon name, which I think we should go look at.
Wait, are we going to do a rolling 4 weeks, or are we going to do?
I
like
haven't.
on
I'm
a
just
month?
let's just reset it and see what happens.
Okay,
There's a couple
sure,
of free ones,
sure.
but because we've got Patreon questions, so that's why I thought we didn't have to go through every rolling one. That's a good idea, Josh. Though I could have a look at that. I don't know if I can pull that out of the query, but it wouldn't be that hard. But we do have one of our early patrons who likes to change his names all the time. Is currently today is known as Fluffsy Mangina. So Fluffsy Mangina. Mangina.
Mangina?
Yeah. So,
What's his little photo he's got going on?
I think
It
it's
looks
a
like
toilet symbol of a man or something. I don't know. Maybe he's playing with
Okay.
the news. Oh, we've
little
got
red
a
dot.
picture, but no Andrew. So we're getting there. We're halfway there. So guys, just for those who don't know, the patrons obviously help support our show. We have about, I don't know how many there is now, 40 or 50 or something, a mix of free and paid. If you're feeling generous and would love to support the show, though, you can jump over to patreon.com, Old World Fanatics, and you'll see a few tiers there, ranging from just, private access to a Discord channel through to, chatting to us, providing input to the shows and access to bonus materials. So definitely check that out. We appreciate all the support from that growing list. But also, if you're just on YouTube and watching it, just hit the like, subscribe, and alert buttons. We really do appreciate that because it helps us get more reach and more viewers. So now that's all cool. And one of the things we do with the Discord patrons, and now I'm slowing up for some reason when I'm looking at myself, is ask for some Patreon questions. So we have a few of them to talk through. And
Yeah, we'll
Andrew's
do that.
back. How you going, man?
Welcome back, Andrew.
I picked up my computer and it just shut off. I don't know why. It's like,
Well, we were
Just
joking
shut
that
off
you probably
completely.
pulled it out of the power or something. I don't know.
well,
We're
the
looking
power
forward to the
cord
tour.
did come out, but the battery, it's full of batteries. I'm like, what the?
My
I
old
don't know.
Windows laptop does that. Like if you don't have it plugged in, it's gone. Even though the battery, it's not great, but it has something in it. Yeah. I don't know.
This battery's like, you get 2 hours out of it. I don't know. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. We'll get a tour at another date. That's all cool. I do see the hobby rack from what's it called? The hobby. Oh God, who was it called again? Who supplied us with that hobby?
Oh, now you're going to test me.
discount?
Now you're going to test
Well,
me.
that's bad. We should have known that.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Product placement. That's bad. Anyway, look, this has turned out really. This is a great show start. Isn't it? Anyway, let's get to
real
Patreon
professional
questions.
organization we got
people
going on
like
here.
it. It's all
It's a good rack, Bart. Check out the review,
Andrew's
guys.
rack.
Check out the review.
Yeah, that's right. It's on YouTube. You'd think after 52 episodes we'd be good at this. We've got some Patreon questions I want to go through from Awesome Gilthos. He has sent us a bunch, so let's run through them, I think.
Let's get some. There was one before that, wasn't there?
Oh, I might have missed one. Can you find that then? Sorry, because I did.
I'm not sure if it was serious or not. It was, don't you all drink Fosters in Australia?
Miss Junk
So you
sends
talk about
that.
Miss Junk.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good enough question. No, I don't. I mean, you can get it occasionally.
Can you get it? I can never find it
No,
anywhere.
I don't know. It's definitely not on tap anymore anywhere that I know of, unless you go out west or something.
Or go to London. They got it everywhere there.
Oh, yeah. Actually did have a Foster's when I went home to the UK last year just for fun.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to find overseas, which is ironic, considering how it's marketed.
I mean, it was. I guess people did drink it back in the 80s and stuff, but it's not now. It's gone. But yeah, anyway, so that was one. Yes, you're right. The other one, so these are game ones. So if you can wave a magic wand and change only one thing in the game to fit your vision, what would it be? I'll just throw out what Gilthus said for his one. He said 33% max heroes. Whew. I'm assuming that's characters, not just because there is no heroes, hey? That's just characters.
Yeah, I would imagine you mean characters, right?
So what's 33% of 2,000 is 6?
It's 660?
667, whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, 660. So, which I'd be in favour of, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it'd get through, like, acceptance. But I reckon there's a rationale there where I reckon you could drop it from 50%. You know, you could go to 40 or even that without many complaints about it.
Yeah, actually, he did talk about this, so maybe I won't answer. I was just about to say that, you know, his other army is disadvantaged more than others, but I think that's slightly another question that he had. But yeah, in terms of waving a magic wand and okay, I've probably got mine, but it's probably I've been griping about it since day one, even before I saw the rules. So mine would be I hate measuring wheels and stuff, because even we'll get to this in the hobby, talking through a game with two, like Fury and Daz yesterday, and they were, you know, like it's the whole thing of trying to work out how far the charge is before you have to roll dice and stuff, and it's just, you know, if you're trying to play fast and stuff, it's bloody annoying. I wish there was a different, you know, it probably can't be like 8th, because I think there would be problems with sort of the wide units charging, but I'd like to fix that. And it's not just charging; it's just some of these weird measurements you got to do like that. I just think it's mostly charging, obviously, but that's one thing. For my vision.
Funny.
What's yours, Josh? Well, I know obviously one of yours is the whole fallback.
Thanks. Yeah. Reforming on the fallback in good order. It was my practical one, the one that I feel like they could easily change. If you're going to talk about something, I want to wave a magic wand and impractically go. Yeah,
which might not.
I really want to change this. Which can't even affect it. Like, there's no way they can change this. I'd love to have Magic Phase back, guys.
Oh, really? Wow.
Ooh.
I don't know. Interesting. I wouldn't be against that, but also I've found I don't mind it. So I don't know.
I miss the mini game. I find I do. I really actually do. The more I play both editions, the more I'm like, I like having to think about stuff.
Yeah,
I know that's controversial, and I think a lot of people like the new one.
Yeah.
I think that's my magic wand.
I just think there's two things there. There's like having the magic sprawled through all the phases I actually like, but I do agree with that mini phase of sort of resource management-y type. You know, that type of thing. Whereas I do like the fact that, you know, like especially, I actually like the idea that, you know, in combat, you're casting your magic spells and you're getting both times to do it and stuff. I think those things are pretty cool.
I agree about that for sure. I think, I think what I probably phrase it poorly, because it's not specifically just having a magic phase. I think it's just the lack of resource management is probably more what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I mean,
I'm not
and
sure how you
obviously
change it to
something's not 100%.
incorporate that,
Nah,
but
I
no
don't know,
idea.
because like
I have no
the
realistic
fact that you
suggestions.
basically have to take level 4s, hey, like tells you something that there's potentially something that's not 100% right. I mean, not that you'll ever have that.
I mean, but that's more
What about
just
you,
balance in terms of the pluses and minuses to cast and dispel, you know, whereas in previous editions you might have only had +2 for level 4, you know, for dispelling or, you know, and they could potentially back off on the power level of those things. But yeah, anyway. Andrew?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd like to see more value in core. I find core, especially for some armies, it's just, you just have to fill it. There's not, it's not always obviously it's not the strongest, reasons being, it's not the strongest unit power wise, but just the value of it. Like sometimes you have core units that are just absolute garbage. I think that tends to be across the board a bit. So I would like to see, you know, the cheaper core just having more of a role other than having to fill your core spot as such.
I wonder if they made it's a legacy holder. You know how, because core's like, you know, 20, whatever, you know, like it's some percentage plus 25% plus whatever. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe they should have gone, well, core is, you have to take, it's actually, you can't go more than that. It's basically stuff you have to bring to make sure it's a themed army. And so like if for dwarves, it might be, you have to bring hammers and long, like it might be the good units, you know what I mean? That you have to bring. And then all the specials and rares are actually all these weird, different things that bring, like they're never going to be the overpowered things well, they could be, but some of the overpowered things are, in core and you have to bring it anyway. So like sort of you set the army up how you want it by saying these are required, but you can't take more than some number rather than have it infinite. And it's the specials and rares that either have limits as well as bring some fun and flexibility to the, you know what I mean, into different themes, lean into different themes.
Wow, you've just flipped my whole world upside down with this suggestion. Limited core that's more powerful and special than rare, and you can only take so much of it. Like that sounds amazing.
But you know what I mean? Like then you wouldn't have core tax. You just got, well, this is the army.
Really cool. Yeah.
Dwarves look like this, and orcs look like this, and they do all this stuff, and then you've got all this other stuff to play around with. You know,
that might add different dimensions to the game, to your army, but not necessarily more power. Yeah.
Yes.
That's actually quite a cool suggestion. I should quite like that.
That is.
That was off the top of my head. I didn't know, Andrew. We didn't prep that. I don't know if it's good. I do think they improved the fact that some of the good units you can take in core though now. So it feels like they've tried to, you know, like I can take Tomb Guard or I can take Black Orcs. Like I can, do you know what I mean? Like they've taken some of that. To try and make it useful.
I mean, the caution they have to do with that is that obviously core is unlimited. So if they make the core too powerful, then you'll just have
hence why I was just thinking maybe that's the problem. Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, I think probably one of the biggest issues, wouldn't get into this too much, but obviously now with infantry not being so powerful, you know, a lot of core is just your sort of infantry, which probably is part of the issue. But,
anyway. It's funny though, like you fix, you know, one of the, like if you had Gilthos thing and you locked the characters to 33, suddenly you're not filling up half your army with dragons and stuff, and so maybe you do see more infantry. So it's like you can never move one dial. Hey, like there's multi-dials here to turn. So
and I would like to say that because I mean I'm pretty sure that as far as I'm aware, all the army lists are at 50%. So if you were going to just do a broad-based, everything gets reduced by 10 or 12% or something, I think that would be very plausible. I don't think there's any list that
that's true. It's only core, you know, and it makes it more complex. That change. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Anyway, number 2, he said, "How good can gunline magics?" Oh, sorry, Hank.
We have 5 of these questions, don't we? We'll see how we go. We probably need to go a bit more quickly through this.
I didn't even intro what we're actually going to talk, but geez, the whole Andrew's computer just screwed me around. So I should have actually said that. We're actually covering Josh's.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
This is so bad. We're actually covering Josh's finale of his slow grow, and we're also going to chat a little bit about Castle Assault this weekend, which we have. We're all going to be there. We're going to chat the matchups that have come out and this cool. I don't know who did. Did anyone find out who did these army ratings? 'Cause
No.
I didn't look. No,
I
okay.
never
So someone
even
rated the
done the
armies in
source.
S, S tier, B tier, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yep.
We'll do
is
another
it
show
you?
during the
You?
week with ASB on the actual list matchups and stuff. So I didn't want to. That's going to take ages. So we're just going to have a bit of a fun podcast, going through some castle stuff, but also catching up with Josh about where he got to with his slow grow and stuff like that. So sorry, I should have said that at the beginning of the show, but I got flustered. Anyway. And Patreon questions, because we've got a few of them here, so I wanted to get through them all.
I feel like we should have these in the main part of the podcast almost, because there's so many
They're
of
so
them.
big.
And,
They're almost
and
enough.
it's-
Maybe
it's
I'll move the
provoking
section.
a good
Maybe we'll do
half-hour long
news.
discussion.
Yeah, cool. Well, I can move these around. I might do that. That's a good point, especially if the guys keep sending and girls send us these things. So, yeah. So, how good can gun lines or magic missiles MSU be before we lose the spirit of rank and flank games?
Ooh.
Yeah. It's not. It's a bit of a loaded question, but it's
more
what
a
we were just
statement.
talking about with the infantry, I guess.
Yeah, that sort of leads into that.
Yeah.
Because he's right. Like, yeah, you can take
It's
it too
annoying.
far.
Like gun lines are a thing, but then they're not a thing in terms of like most people think BS shooting. Like, coming up against Empire bowmen and stuff, you're not scared of the gun line side, but you might be more scared that they're getting in your way. So sometimes BS shooting is a bit poor, but it's all the additional stuff, magic missiles and then poison, or lots of MSU. Yes, I agree. Like when you just got lots of little units running around.
And
Not
arguably
giant blocks
lots
of 40 bowmen with poison.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the problem I see here is I think they tried to address some of that in 8th too, and it sort of backfires where people have to paint 40 blocks of halberds and say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I think
ironically, you
MSU
didn't. It was
was
massive
gonna say, I
blocks, but sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I think MSU is obviously like an issue with shooting, just because it's so hard to get the points.
Yeah.
So you might take one unit, and then meanwhile everything
but it's
else
like
is...
130 points or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Josh.
I mean,
I was going to say, in terms of mentioning 8th and the massive blocks, is the other problem that 8th had was that there was no reward for flanking stuff. So it was really just a rank game, because Steadfast just made things, didn't really matter if you got hit in the flank.
True.
That was also when going way too far the other extreme.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, I would personally just say I haven't played enough games against armies that are gun lines, magic missiles, and MSU to worry about it myself yet, but I'm assuming people are... I have heard... I mean, obviously there is some gun lines, and like Josh, not Josh, Andrew, you ran across one at Belcon and got wiped and stuff, so they are out there, but I haven't ran into them to the point where everything's like that, It's more about how do you just make infantry a bit so people want to bring a couple of big units, or like even units of 20s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Potentially. Yeah.
You need to have reward for actually having some ranks in the game, right? Like
that's actually question 3. Like what's one change that can bring back 20 plus? I guess we've sort of answered. I
feel like he's part of this conversation, because each time we answer a question, he has another reply.
He's gone through his... Totally. Gilthos knows this. He's just talking.
Yeah.
He's just answering. Sure. He's in the discussion. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
I think we talked, I think maybe the characters bringing down a little bit might do that. And I guess the only thing you could do without changing the game right now is scenarios, and or, they're talking about this general's compendium. Maybe there's different missions there that might, favor having, more unit strength, so to speak, at least in a unit. So,
and that and more just static combat res available to infantry blocks. I think it's just missing a little bit.
I mean, do you think that's a way to combat the dragon? Like, just go, well, actually, we've made a mistake. We'll just bump everyone's max rank bonuses up by 1. That type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
It could be something as subtle as that. That would be enough just to tide the balance slightly. And that could be all they need to do.
Yeah, it actually would help things like monstrous infantry come back a bit too, if they can get ranks and stuff. Like if there's any use to having them ranked up,
rather than having big
Besides 33% max on heroes, what can bring level 2 wizards back into the game? So I was just thinking about this when you talked about the magic, Josh. I was wondering, and I know maybe it's not fluff, I don't know, but maybe the whole, the 18-inch, 24-inch dispel thing. Like, why don't you just let all wizards dispel at 24-inch, for example? And then you can decide, okay, I need level 4 to fire more spells and do stuff. But maybe if I just want to be defensive, come back with a bunch of little level 1s, and they can still, they don't dispel at the same rate, but at least they're not like, even just the range is up there, you know what I mean? So they're like useful.
Should you make level 4s go down to 18? Should you invert it?
Maybe. We're doing this. Let's just flip everything on a head. Exactly.
Level 4s are good at casting, but they're kind of crap at dispelling.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, well, they could just a few little things like that, or bringing, they just like, was it? Oh, I don't know what it was. Which game was it where it was like level 1 and 2s only add 1, and is that 9th, and then level 3, 4s just add 2 to the cast? Is that?
Yeah, I reckon that's
something like that. Like you could do that.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
yeah, I think so. I think that was nice.
Yeah,
it works well. Yeah,
because I think or so I'm getting all over the place here, but like if you actually made some extra rules where your wizards can work together in some fashion, so you could do those sort of councils. Like if you want. You can bring a level 1, and that might maybe it expands the spell bubble ranges of all of them within 6 inches, or so then you can at least there's reasons to bring different things.
Yeah,
I love this. Yeah, I love these suggestions. That would be really cool. Because that way, it's more about the total number of levels you have in the army rather than one guy that's really powerful.
Yeah,
and it could reward multiple units and having a radius of coverage between your wizards, so that you're covering all your possible sort of dispel areas you need to be in.
Yeah.
Cool idea.
When discussing comp, there are usually two sides that are not talking about the same thing. They're usually arguing against a point the other side's not making. I like that. It's always good to have straw man arguments. One side doesn't want comp because all the ways that apply does not, in their opinion, make the game more balanced and hurt some armies more than others, where the very pro-comp usually want the game to be less hero hammer death star spam and have armies look more like giant armies. They're usually not worrying about balance as much, just reducing power game-wide so units matter more. What side are you guys on? So we on the, we don't want comp. It's applied does not, in their opinion, make the game more balanced and hurt some. Yeah, okay. I don't know why. Just simply, if I hope I got the gist of it, but like, are we more on the? Well, each of us individually, are we more on the? We want it comped and fairly equal, or we want no comp and we're not too worried about that imbalance.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's
I
what
think
we seem to
discussed
talk about
already, haven't we? Yeah.
We're pro comp.
Yeah, we're pro comp, aren't we?
I'd probably say. Yeah.
You seem less sure about it, Gordon.
No, I would. The
heavy lean.
The only thing when I was thinking is, I don't mind the, craziness, and I don't want to lose the craziness either, even though if it is comped. Like I want it to be like Warhammer. I would never want it. Like that's why I didn't like Ninth Age. It felt very sterile. At one point, they took some of the fun out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where that's the bit where I was a bit hedging my bet. I don't want crazy stuff that's just ridiculous. So that's why I think comp's okay and things work out. But
a light touch. Yeah, you wouldn't want a heavy-handed way of doing it. Yeah, it's
everyone's goal. You just want to be able to bring things and know that you're in the game, and you want. If I play if I play a dwarf army, I don't want it to always look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's happened with 10th bloody 40k by the sound of it. Like it always happened. Probably you go and play, high comp. Like you go to a tournament and that sort of army has only got one or two ways to optimally play, and that's where you start going.
Yeah,
it's turning away from
Yeah.
something fun.
That's also a matter of having internal balance within an army book as well, rather than having a few units that are going to be way more powerful than others. I guess all these little factors.
The fact that they're bringing these Army of Infamies help that variability a bit as well, even if some of them aren't as powerful or not, you know. Yeah. Cool.
Just for the theme of it, yeah.
Skillfuss's questions, I should say. And then Andrew Hollis, who said, keen to know if you guys play in the same style for tournaments versus garage gaming, as in would you take different powered lists and play tighter games rule-wise and forgiveness-wise? I could probably answer that, although, I'll let you guys go on this one first. So do you tend to play
similar mentality to
all the
you?
time?
What I'm guessing. I'm guessing that, like, for us, at least me and Gomo, we both play around a bit with what we want to bring, like just have a bit of a, just experimentation. But we sort of usually come in like looking, not fluffy battles, but obviously looking to try and get a win out of it. Even though you might not have a list, you might just be, we'll see how this goes. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you think that's a combination, though, of the fact that we've got kids? Well, I mean, I'm getting better now, more time. But, like, you don't have time to... When you played in high school or uni, you could play fluffy and it was fun and you didn't care if your game went all day and all that. Nowadays, it's like you get to play when you get to play. And so usually, at least what I find, we're thinking about a tournament or we're building our army for a tournament at some point. So therefore you just you just end up playing more tournament-y focused, even though I would love to probably do more narrative and fun, fluffy games. But it sort of feels like, well, I can't get one in this week because I'm practicing for, whatever, you know what I mean? Or Andrew's practicing for something that I'm not going to, but I better put an army together. Yeah, I don't want to like throw some fluffy army at him, otherwise he's not sort of waste his time. So
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, I enjoy the list building element too much I end up just building lists that I think are going to be fun, like enjoyable to play from a strategic level more than a fluffy level, I feel. So I don't think the lists I take for friendly games versus tournaments are very different. But I never take like cheesy lists of tournaments either. Like I usually take lists I'm going to enjoy, and I know my opponent's going to enjoy playing against either way. Like, and to be honest, when I'm playing a game, because I think he's also asked about how your
I haven't answered that
mentality during the game, which I haven't addressed yet. But to be honest, I mean, I think I am maybe a little bit more sort of forgiving in a friendly game because like there'll be things where I don't care. But to be honest, in a tournament, I will also be like, I don't really care, man. Just do it.
Same.
That's fine. I don't give a fuck. I'm just here to have some fun.
No, I definitely fall into that forgiveness. I think I do anyway, like forgiveness-wise, in even in tournaments. I mean, I think sometimes you might be a little bit more like, no, that's not how that's played, but it's not to be an arse or anything, but definitely we do take back. Like I'll always probably do take backs. I'll know certain people won't, and that's fine. But I think most of the time I'd be like, you missed that, right? The other day Fury, like we just forget the Eye of Gods thing. You go, well, fuck, roll it. Like 2 turns later, like roll it twice and see what you got. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. It doesn't bother me. Like stuff like that, because you're just still learning half the time as well.
Yeah. I think it does depend on how late things are. Like I think in that situation, if it was a tournament and that he's missed 2 turns of rolling something, I might have been like, maybe just roll the last one and then just see what happens or whatever, rather than both.
Yeah. Well, that was probably just more just to go. Well, might have not been 2. Might have been into this 3rd one, but he'd rolled that one, so it might have only been actually one that we missed. I can't remember.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
That's right. It didn't affect anything, but you're right. There is some that do when you're like, I don't know, do they have the stupidity one? So that probably would have affected it if you'd rolled that up. But yeah, that was all good.
I think it's good to get the vibe off the other player. So like, if you think the other player's playing in a casual way and he'd be the same, like I just try and think of, mirror their, just the vibe you get off them.
Mirror their mentality.
Yeah, like if somebody's the rules are blah blah blah, I'm not going to give them anything. But if somebody's casual, I'll be casual back. Like I just, I think that's
totally
a safe way to do it.
Cool.
Chameleon player.
So there's no, as far as I know, there's no news. So it'd be interesting now the dwarves arrive. Like, so I got.
That's all the
what did you
questions,
get,
right?
Andrew?
We're moving on
That's
from
all the
questions.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is there
cool.
anything else?
Cool. No, I think it was it.
So I got this
Sorry,
game
go on.
today. Well, where is it? Where's my camera?
Hey.
Got the little dude.
Oh.
So we actually have the real
Hey.
book. So that, some presents arrived.
1 month too
but-
late. Thanks,
Yeah.
CW.
So the dwarfs are out. I wonder. Obviously, we're on bated breath now to see what they do next. But I don't think there's any really other news, is there, guys? I just wanted to do one shout out though. Is I did bring up a couple of weeks back on the tale of a number of fanatical old world gamers or something, some weird title like that for a YouTube series. Because I want to start that once the next announcement for the next faction comes out. So currently I've got, there's us three. I'm involved. If you guys are obviously more than welcome. Josh is going to paint hex tiles or something with the sound of it. You don't have to be involved either.
Does that
don't
count
know-
if I spend the tail painting hex tiles?
I don't know. I haven't actually come up with the conditions of what we're actually doing anyway. But basically, I'd like to do about 5 3-week videos over 3 months. I don't know, maybe that's too quick, so maybe I will bring it out. But the first thing I just want to do is find people who are interested, like maybe 4 to 6 people, plus there'd be me and some other people, because I don't expect everyone to turn up all the time. And I've got a couple already, and I just sent a message to the patrons again, but obviously it's open to anyone. So if you want to be on, and you can be on YouTube and potentially weird hours, because if it's around the world, we're going to have to work out how to do that. And just like the old White Dwarf things, have a chat, mate, and be a bit more thematic with it. It's not like like name the characters and, like try to come up with something cool for the army as well as painting it. So I'm assuming it'll be probably someone's second old world army, if you know what I mean, because by the time we kick it off, they've probably got one already. So just think of it from that point of view as well. What's the next one you want to kick off? Yeah, so I just wanted to shout that out again before I forget, because, still after a couple people for that. Anyway, cool. Hobbies. Because, Josh, you'll have to go last if we want to lead into your topic. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, cool. What'd you do, Andrew? Probably not much. You moved house.
Ooh. Yeah, I moved house, all right. So my truck, I don't know if I told you guys this. I think I told Gomo. The truck ran out of room, so there's still stuff at the house. I've been running trailer loads in the car.
Oh, shit.
So that's kept me busy. But as you can see, I've got the hobby space sorted. I put the paint rack together. And what else have I been doing? I got Gomo's lovely printed bat swarms. These guys are friggin' fantastic. So much detail. So I'm running a time button to get them printed. I've got my bloody Terrorgeist. I've got to get him finished. And then I've got Vampire on a Steed. I might just get a few base colors on everything, to be honest, and just leave it.
So at this point, you're going to struggle, eh?
It's not great. Yeah. But I picked up Arcane Journal today before I came and saw you, Gomo. And I did notice, this is probably a different topic, but they had the Dwarf Army box sets. They had heaps. It's just interesting to see the level of, everything getting sold out with Bretts and Tomb Kings. Like, you can't get anything. And then it seems like now it's definitely slowed up. I think which I think is natural anyway.
Yeah.
Well, either one or the other. But yeah, it was kind of good and bad to see. I was like,
that's I know. It's weird. It's like,
dwarves are
we
out.
want it sold out, so it looks like we're the best game. But then if it's sold out, we're annoyed. Yeah, because we can't get anything. So yeah, I know what you mean. It's weird, isn't it? I do like the fact, they've got all that, like you said, that store that's all behind. I guess they're running out of room there, like they've got it all behind the counter, do they? Or where they put all the dwarf stuff? Is that now out in not behind the counter? 'Cause it's all new.
The big boxes, the army boxes were as soon as you walked in. And then
cool.
behind the counter was all the other stuff.
They're not going to do that if they think it doesn't sell, because that's usually where you see a like 40K box or a. So I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, listening to like the Square base, but hearing some of the stuff come out of there, and that's why I want to have another video on like what do we think 6 months on in terms of just the success of it and things like that. I know we talked a little bit about it just then, but just how big it technically is and become, like in the numbers that he sees versus. And look, it's not 40K. I'm not saying that, but he's saying it could be rivaling, at least digitally it rivals the AOS numbers, in terms of,
which is big.
and you can still walk in and get an AOS box too. So it's kind of interesting. So yeah. Once we get all the armies, who knows what they'll do. If they end up doing a Cathay or a Kislev, like a new plastic range, he's just going to go ballistic.
Yeah, for sure.
So it just depends if Games Workshop want money.
So popular.
Really. So, but generally they confuse themselves about that sometimes, I think.
Because they were cautious about investing initially, I feel, but I feel like
they have changed. I'm going to do that investor report. I went through it, and they definitely got changing their tune. But at the same time, like we said last week, it's moving they're like a big
snail's pace.
They can't they can't just turn around. So I think anyway, it is what it is. Cool. So is that yours? Probably. I didn't do a heap, so I don't have a heap to show. But I did finish these. These are not finished. I'll show you. I finished them just then. So I almost got them done last week. That was after I did the big batch paint and just needed to do the highlighting. But I went over. I just wanted to bring up this up. It's not really a hobby, but it sort of is. I went to help Daz and Fury play a game. So Fury's changed his list. That's the Beastman I played the other day, but now he's got like 2 Gorgon and Daz is playing this orc. I feel sorry for him because he asked me like literally last Thursday, can you give me an orc list? And I was like, oh crap. Like I just can't do a list like that. I usually have to sit down and work it out. And it was for his son. So I tried to just come up with something really like 2 blocks of Night Goblins, like fun stuff. 2 blocks of Night Goblins with Fanatics, a big unit of Boar Boys, Black Orcs, 2 characters, the guy on the Wyvern and Giant, and just like, it doesn't, I just thought you could just push it forward and just fiddle. Like it's not overpowered, but it's not like, it's a bit simpler. Anyway, he's going to end up playing it because his son wants to play the Vamps. So it's probably lacking some things in hindsight. But anyway, in the game, the poor Giant's out here on the flank, which is kind of funny. Sorry if you're on listening. Basically, it's like out on the right flank, there's a Giant against 2 Gorgons. And like this is turn 1, like they've moved up. And then it goes into turn 2 and Daz is like, okay, so... I went, well, Giants are pretty good in this edition. The problem is the Gorgon's got Monster Slayer on 5 attacks. But I'm like, on the other hand, though, what are you going to do about the Gorgons? You might as well just charge, see what happens. All right. Like, I'm like, and they were just pushing stuff forward. So, like, okay, we'll send the Giant in. So the Giant goes in, and, well, I'll tell the story first. So the Giant goes in, swings with, he gets I think it's swing with a big club. It's like a strength 7 hit. Like, I think he got like 3 wounds through on the Gorgon. So I know that's pretty good. And you've still got stomps coming. And they're both just got D3 stomps. So they're both as crap as each other, trying to stomp each other. And then Fury rolls the 5 attacks back and he rolls a 6 on one of the wounds and Monster Slayers the Giant. I was so sorry. Like to Dazzle, like, I said, but you do have the timber, the timber thing. Anyway, and you got to do the roll off to see which arc he falls. Daz wins the roll off, so obviously it makes him fall into the Gorgon, and then happens to roll like 5 wounds through the Gorgon. And Daz Fury failed them all except for maybe 1 regen, and so the Gorgon died as well. It was the perfect end. Wow. What I was just saying at the beginning of the thing, this is Warhammer. Like, is it balanced all the time? No, but I don't want to lose that. You know what I mean? Where the Giant gets Monster Slayer and then falls into the Gorgon and kills him.
That's a great story. That's so ridiculous. Falls hoppers on top of him.
So they left him out on the board for like 3 turns because it's just. So I know I did finish the block of archers, and my 4 other dudes had to get done. So they're ready. That's actually not the full. That's not the block, because that's actually. I'm actually taking 42 and then 8 separate. So, but I put them all in, obviously, in the block of 50 just to carry them around. So it's not actually 50.
That's 50. Oh, so that's actually a bigger block than.
Than what I'm technically taking.
I thought you were saying your block was bigger than that for some reason. I sort of misunderstood what you were trying to get through. I was like, oh my God.
It's just the chaff.
But they're good. They are ready to go pretty much. I mean, might put a few more tufts on them, but that's about it. So they are ready. That's all I did, really. I've lost my screen, sorry. Up to you, Josh. You hobbied, but also you did hobby, which we had to skip last week. So you've got a bit to cover, a little bit.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
Sort of.
I don't have that much like actual hobby to cover.
That's cool. No, that's fine.
So mainly it's the finishing this logo, which I sort of technically did last week, and then a little bit about the campaign that I finally got up on the internet. Because I really haven't had time to actually do much painting at all in the last 6 days since we last recorded. I thought I would have time yesterday, but then I ended up spending like a few hours just like getting the campaign on the internet, basically. And I was like, oh, where'd those like 3 hours go? Because I had to go into House of War first because I was like, come on, guys. Like I messaged them a few times over Facebook to confirm the dates for it. And they just hadn't got back to me. So I physically had to go in the store and go, can you please confirm these dates so I can publish this?
Actually put it up there.
Yeah. So that meant I could start the event on Facebook and put the PDF up and that kind of thing, which I have done. So we should
end up. Yeah. Or do you want to bring that up
for the campaign. So the first one is the 22nd of September.
Right.
So Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like a
Not
month
too
and a
far
half away. Yeah, not that far away. We got a lot of work to do. And then I think, then it will just be like, the 20th of October and then the 24th of November and the end of December kind of thing. So every sort of maybe 4 or 5 weeks or so.
Yep.
And I have put up a Facebook event. So which has got the link to the campaign book in it. So I should probably put a link to that maybe in the notes.
Actually, I could probably make a note here because I did see. I think did you tag us in it? Because I think I saw it come. Maybe I just saw it came up. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I somehow
maybe that's
tagged you in it, both of you in it. So you could see it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Cool. No, I'll check it out. Yeah, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah, I think originally we were talking about trying to old worldify it and join, but I don't know if we'll get a chance to do. We might just run it separately.
It wouldn't take much adoption, to be quite honest.
I could talk. It's not really a slow grow campaign, though, is it? I was going to say I could do something.
Not really.
Tale of 4 gamers, but it's different.
Yeah, it's a specific thing, and it would need a different dynamic around it, I think. But it's something that we could look at doing. Like, there's no rush about it. Like maybe in 6 months' time or so. Yeah. And like to be honest, I suspect I might have to like feel around with it.
Adjust stuff. Yeah.
As it gets played.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be just adjusting things here or there. I continue to adjust things slightly. Like even now, I'm just keep thinking of it.
Not unexpected.
Right. I'm hoping to not have to adjust it very much once it starts, but then maybe a few months into it, I might be like, okay, I might change this, that. Yeah, just tweak that type of thing. Because I mean, the other thing is I want to have printed off copies of it, right? Because I don't want everyone to be looking at their phones for this like quite large document.
Right.
It's much nicer to be able to flip through a physical book for something like that. When you've got all the different scenarios and profiles to check. So I am planning to have it all printed. Maybe have like 4 or 5 copies or whatever just available. But I'll go through my slow grow game, guys, because I want to do that. It was just fun. I always have lots of fun playing these games.
Man, so good. Like you can see the pink.
The pink,
purpley pink.
The purple pink Slanesh colors. Yes. So this is a 2000 point 6-head game, obviously, guys. With my Cultus Slanesh, and I was playing Johnny's Skaven. I haven't actually played him before.
This isn't the same Skaven you played, hey? Because you played a Skaven, didn't you?
Yeah, I played Brad Skaven. Really early on. Yeah, that was like one of the the second game I had. This is the other Skaven player. And at this point, he's got a screaming bell going on with a big group of storm vermin and sense bearers and just the whole a good well-rounded list. We finally got to a full-size army.
All the toys.
All the toys. All the toys. I might go through the armies a little bit and then go through the game. So yeah, I had on my far left flank, I put the mounted demonettes out there, sort of opposite his little rat swarms and some Jezals on a hill behind them. Next to my demonettes, I also had the bolt thrower and some furies. And then he also had some slaves, and I think it was just a big block of clan rats, I think, with a warpfire thrower next
weapons.
to it.
Warpfire.
Yeah. We also had a massive hill right in the middle of the board, which was kind of fun. He asked me if we want to move it. I'm like, nah, let's just play with the hill. Let's just see what happens. So we had this huge, this hill must have been about 2 foot by 1 foot, like absolutely gigantic.
Big.
So behind the hill on each side, I've got my 2 Spawn of Slanesh. I've got the unit of 6 Cold One Knights, opposite some Plague Sensor Bearers, and then he's got the Screaming Bell with the
are they plague monks next to it?
Yeah, sorry, he's got some plague monks. Sorry, yeah, he's got some plague monks hiding there, and then he's got the Screaming Bell with the Storm Vermin. And that's opposite. I've got the Anointed in a group of 15 or 14 devoted, which is like your witch elf version of the Cult of Slanesh. The Anointed level 2 guys in there is like a demon level sort of elf, And I've got 2 level 2s each side of the devoted, one on Shadow. I took the Shadow because I wanted the level 1 spell that the Seed of Slanesh, Seed of Shadows, that I could potentially shoot the Anointed out of the unit. And then the other level 2 is on Slanesh as well. Then I've got the second bolt thrower on my. This is going towards my far right flank now. And then I've got a unit of 10 repeater bolt crossbowers behind a fence, and then I've deployed my little scouts in a forest sort of halfway between them and then the other side of his flank, which will be the rat ogres on the other side of the little bit of impassable terrain that's between him and the Screaming Bell. So the first turn was I think he took first turn, and then he's got the level 4 Gracier in the bell. And he manages to get Vermintide off because I think he moved up a bit. Just enough that he could. I think Vermintide is 4d6 inches with a big template.
Right.
And I think I let him cast it because I didn't think that it was really going to do very much.
You could roll him that high.
Yeah, right. And then he manages to roll must have been 18 inches or something. And he moved up a fair bit. And it was just enough to clip
those witch elfy dudes, whatever. The repeater.
It clipped clipped the devoted, the witch elf girls, and the repeater
the other guys.
Crossbowers.
Wow.
And the sorceress that was on her own between those 2 units.
Yeah, she's not there in the picture.
She's not there in the picture. Because the Vermintide, it's 3d6 strength 2 hits for each unit. So it's it's a big template, but it's not it's per base hit. It's just it's clipped.
If you just
take the
nick
damage.
It. Wow.
And because she was by herself rather than in the unit, she just died. I was like, oh, damn. That hurt. It only killed a couple of bolt crossbow guys and maybe 2 of the devoted, but it was the fact that she died was not a good start because she had the extra power dice, extra dispel dice, and she was on level 2. So I've gone from 9 power dice to 6. And 1 less dispel, 2 less dispel dice as well, essentially. So it's that's not a good start. I never got a chance to use her. She just died.
Was it? I was going to say, was she one of the new ones you painted for the bigger game, or you'd used it before?
No, she'd been in every game. Been in every game. She was my general.
Level 2. Yeah,
she
that's
died.
right. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
She died. Straight up. So in my turn, I essentially just moved everything up. I think he'd moved his Warpfire thrower by itself up on the hill behind there's the weird little building that was also on the hill, and actually for some reason I started to charge the Furies into that Warpfire thrower, which is probably the bad choice. I should have just shot those Furies in a more annoying spot because that Warpfire thrower actually survives because there wasn't enough space for me to actually
get them all
nice
in.
line, get them all in. I can only get 2 in maybe. So then it survives, and then the clan rats sort of ended up charging, and that kind of thing. But probably the biggest I'll go through probably the most important part of the game, which is really the interplay between the devoted and the plague monks and the screaming bell, and the cold one knights in the center as well. So I did end up charging the plague monks with the devoted and the anointed in there. He'd actually taken. I'd actually on his second turn, he'd actually done more damage to this unit. I can't remember if it was a Warp 5 throw or it was more Vermintide, but I think he'd taken out half of the devoted unit at that point. So I only had like 6 models left.
Yeah,
The anointed with his 5 strength 7 attacks, he manages to. I think he almost killed. There was a character in there that's like a Nurgle guy. I can't remember the name of these Skaven fellows.
Yeah,
he's like
no
tough.
idea.
Yeah, he's had like 3. Yeah, it was quite hard to kill. He took him down to 1 wound, but I ended up, because he had all the static combat res of the of his block of plague monks. I think he won by 4 or 5, and I was lucky to. Well, it wasn't 4 or 5. It was won by 2 or 3, but I passed the break test, so I hung around.
Was it a plague priest?
Yeah, I think it was a plague priest. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That combat hung around for a couple more turns. I think I did lose combat, but I just kept holding. And in the process, I managed to the cold one knights. I thought I might be able to get a flank, but they were just out of line of sight of where they ended up sort of sitting. So I end up. This is what happened. So I end up just wheeling that unit to face. And this is on my 3rd turn. Now we were sort of expecting that, I'd wheel in the face and I'd probably charge the next turn. But I actually had one spell. The other shadow spell I had was it was a movement spell that I could move 8 inches and just charge if I hit something. And I've only got like because he had a level 2, a level 4, and I think he had some a couple of other things that would give him extra power to dispel dice. Like he had a bunch of he had like 8 dispel dice, so I wasn't really able to get much magic off. But I managed to irresistibly cast this shadow spell off like 3 dice or something. So suddenly they go into the flank of the plague monks. At which point the devoted are already dead. The anointed's left,
and they're going
like
downhill as well. Yeah, whatever.
So they're coming downhill. They go in the flank. They go straight through that unit into the side of the screaming bell storm vermin unit. The anointed sort of overruns as well, but he's missed that big unit and he's actually right at the front. His turn, he actually either warp fires or vermintides again onto the my anointed and takes out my anointed, who's like 400 point character. So he's dead. And he also got some magic off on the cold ones and took out 3 of them. So I only had 3 left, but that's still just above unit strength 5, so they were still able to get a flank charge with the disrupted ranks. And I did enough wounds that I and with the war banner in it, I still managed to win combat by like 4 on the screaming bell. So he fails that break check. The cold ones go straight through into the rat ogres. Well, that's right. They were like an inch short, and then I charged them the next turn, right? So then the flank again. They go through the rat ogres, run the rat ogres down. So these cold one knights have ended up going through 3 units, which was like absolutely incredible.
And that's his whole army, really. The other ones are all worth nothing. The
other side of the table, there wasn't really much sort of interesting stuff that sort of happened. Like the mounted demons ended up getting into the Jezzails, but after probably a turn or too late, really. Because I was fluffing around trying to get around the swarm and stuff. So it was really just that, like, because I felt I was behind in this game, because I lost that magic potential that my army sort of relies on quite early on. But I was sort of fortunate that the devoted held for as long as they did, and then I got that magic spell off, because that changed the tempo of the match completely. Because before they were going to charge, he would have had a turn to turn the spell around to face, in which case I would have had no real possibility of breaking the unit. So it's just funny how you should just get the timing right sometimes, or you get a bit of luck with the dice. The whole match can end up turning on its head completely. One what else happened? So there was a couple of things, not in this game, but some of the other games I'll just briefly touch on. So this demon prince died to a big block of night goblins.
Night goblins.
He'd actually flown behind the gobos, or was it next to them?
Yeah.
It was out of their line of sight, but they failed their animosity. But then they rolled the result. I think it's the 6 where they maneuver towards the nearest enemy. So they turned around towards it, and then they could declare a charge. And so they charged this demon prince straight up, and then he just dies on combat res. And then
That's
the
a weird
other
basing
goal
that he's got where he's edge highlighted the actual base.
Oh, it's so
crazy.
cool, isn't it? Yeah, it's sort
Yeah.
of like
It's all fluoro-y almost, isn't it?
fluoro-colored army. Yeah, it's a real
That's cool.
theme he's gone for. The whole army looks like it, and I quite like it. The other ridiculous thing that happened in this game was the 5. I can't remember if they were chosen on regular nights. They might have even been chosen. I can't remember, but they charged a squig herd that was hiding behind a hedge. Now in 6 ed,
hitting on
defending
6s?
obstacles are pretty punishing. Yeah, hitting on 6s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he loses the combat. Charges in again, undeterred, then loses the combat again.
I love. Go back one picture. Is
Damn it.
his bolt throwers manned by squigs? Go back one more picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he didn't have enough models, so yeah, he's put squigs on the bolt thrower, which is so ridiculous. Oh dear.
Nice.
But yeah. So I was usually watching this because there's going to be quite a few fences going on in the campaign.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about, because if you're on a tile that's got it looks like it's got a reasonable fence on it that you could defend, you can actually then get a fence you can put on the table. Basically, you take up one piece of terrain. As a defender, you always get to shift one piece of terrain around. But if you're on a farm with a fence or a town with a fence, you can swap that terrain for a fence. Which means that I think there's going to be a lot of situations where there's going to be a very advantageously placed defendable obstacle in the defender's area,
that's good.
which is going to add it might sort of increase the value, I think, of some of these high static combat res blocks. I think because I think in those situations it's hard to sort of overcome that. Because the way I've done the campaign obviously is that the attacking army also has a bit of an advantage with number of troops. So I'm really trying to work on your terrain and sort of position advantages the defender has to sort of outweigh that, I suppose. So it'll be interesting to see.
It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Yeah,
how the balance of that goes. But yeah, that was the end of the campaign.
Do you have any castles and stuff to siege? You're going to end up with. You don't have sieges in there, hey, as such. Because 6 had siege rules.
I don't have siege. No, 6 does have siege, but it's too hard to adjust it, especially if you're not prepared for it. That's the thing. The way I've set up this whole thing is the matchups will be pretty much impromptu on the spot. You've got to have the list ready, and if you're going to have to set up a siege, it's really not going to work. So what I've done is it's in the pack, but it's basically when you're attacking a fortress, the defender gets 2 fortified towers or stone towers, each of which has a war machine on it and a few guys that can shoot. And then there's rules about being able to shoot that tower.
That's
and then being able to sack the tower. So I talked about this a few weeks ago. So you got 2 of those, and then you'll also be able to put a defendable obstacle. So between those 2 towers and a fence between them, probably it's going to feel like a siege. That's a pretty tough nut to crack.
I just really feel like having the if because I've got all the siege stuff, and obviously with the printer now you can print a lot more of it. And the actual building, like the actual castle, it'd be good. And I've said to Andrew once, I'd love to like have a game, but now Old World's out, it doesn't have the rules. I wonder if that's something to open source, see who's the communities out there and try and come up with a set of siege rules for Old World.
Siege itself is just
Yeah,
it's so hard to adapt to, because it just takes a lot of the normal context of the gameplay out the window almost, which is
and this would be
bizarre.
pure narrative and fun. It wouldn't supposed to be.
It wouldn't be competitive at all. Which I think that's probably the way you go, isn't it, with sieges? So what I've done today, because I was trying to work out modeling wise what I'm going to use for these towers. I've ended up buying a bunch of how Tabletop World do have those castle walls type thing.
Tabletop
World.
I think I saw them. Yeah.
They do have like a tower that's designed to go on the corner of them, but you can also just be standalone. So I've actually. Oh, it
The
arrived.
cottages arrived today as well. I haven't opened
I
it,
haven't.
but-
I haven't got a shipping notification for those yet.
Sorry,
I don't
just
know. I don't
interrupted
know.
you, but yeah, when you said tabletop world, I went, "Oh yeah, crap, that's right." It
I was going to
That's
ask you if they
right.
come or not because I hadn't heard anything.
yeah. Oh, I didn't realize. I was like, "What is this from Croatia?" Oh, it's tabletop world. So, yeah. Have to,
I
have to pull them out and
expect.
try to glue
I
them
expect
together.
next week hobby time will be some completed cottages, right?
Probably not with Castle because I didn't. They send a message saying it's you got to look at the instructions how to put them together. They're quite, especially if you want the working windows and everything. Is that
I think
Ooh.
so. Yeah. It's a bit more
Working
tricky than
windows.
normal. It's just like 2 pieces and that's it, kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I think this time they've got windows you can open. You can put magnets
Yeah.
in if you want and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
it does sound a bit more
I haven't
intricate.
opened it up.
I
to
don't know.
see
I
how
haven't
complex it is
got
yet,
I haven't
so
got
I'll have to
one.
have a look. But yeah, sorry, yeah, yeah. I think I know the ones you're talking about, but yeah, there's so
Yeah.
many good like scenery. That's the
Yeah.
just
So I
want-
got
I'd love
those
to just get
like
printing and stuff.
because
like
the
that.
thing is, I had like a random voucher from like 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember. I think they must have had a Christmas special on vouchers I never spent. It was like for €300 that I'd just been sitting on.
Wow,
like-
hopefully that doesn't expire.
like-
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it didn't expire because I've used it
Yeah.
today to buy those towers.
Oh, you did buy it.
Oh, no.
Okay, cool, nice, awesome.
So I bought
Oh, that-
like 4 of them and a windmill. I just threw in a windmill because one of the terrain
Ooh.
pieces does have a windmill on it. I'm like,
yeah.
Nice.
maybe I should put a rule in for a windmill. I don't know. Or should I just
And
put
you are
one
going to
for
be
theme?
painting and doing tiles and scenery for a long time.
Yeah,
You won't be
yeah.
painting another army for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that was hopefully arriving was I found on Deep Cut Studio. You know the guys that do those mats in Europe, like
Yeah,
that do quite a few mats. They do little versions of rivers and roads that like little
Oh, yeah.
3-inch wide strips.
Are they just
so
like matte type ones
Mm.
though? Yeah, cool.
made of matte
okay,
stuff?
yeah.
You just roll them out.
Yeah.
So I've got some of those coming because again,
Oh,
like
yeah,
some of this
that's
stuff you just
fun.
need to be able to just throw them on a table.
Yeah.
To
Just
because
neoprene.
they do it like because in the rules I've got rules for if you're within 3 inches of a road you get like I think +1 movement while you're within that
Right.
3 inches of road stuff like so. There's little benefits for that and obviously you've got some rivers going on. So yeah,
I'm gonna have a look through that because I wouldn't mind getting some of those little road ones and stuff. Because like I
They
will
look
eventually
cool.
build them up, but it's nice to have something
Yeah.
quicker. And I want to try and get that bloody mat that you've got. I love it. That one that you used for the old town with the old roads going through it. Like I
Oh,
found it
yeah.
on another site, but it's from Europe. It costs so much to get here. I was like, nah. But the ones in Australia who had sold it, it's not there. They don't sell them anymore. So
yeah, they're always seem to be out
yeah.
of stock, the Aussie suppliers. So you sort
yeah.
of
Maybe that'll change
should've
the
told
old
me,
world's out.
because,
Like
yeah,
it's a lot easier.
I did. I literally did like it should be arriving tonight or tomorrow. That order,
Right.
Wow. So you should have told me you wanted one because I could have just like put it into the
there's a lot of
order
them.
and then
That's
brought it
Friday.
on Friday because I'm coming to Newcastle this week.
True.
Ah,
good.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we should get on.
So
to...
that's I gotta say, so the logo is wrapped up. It was actually really nice. So the guys were all really appreciative of how it ran and stuff. And yeah, they're very keen to go into the campaign.
Oh, actually, one
It was a
question
really
on that.
nice
What are you
sort of-
playing
campaign.
with your campaign? Like, what are you playing? Or are you just running it?
Okay, I'm definitely playing in it. I'll probably just keep using the cult. Like,
Okay.
I've got them, I've
cool.
made them. I'm going to be so
Yep.
busy doing all this other hobby stuff. I don't have time to be building other stuff. I could use the Bretts, but I kind of want to just keep playing the cult because it's kind of fun and it's a weird sort of enjoyable mobile army that I've so far enjoyed playing with. I am tempted, and I mean this is coming out of the campaign really, but there's a lot of Dogs of War gear going on in that campaign. And if I was to do another army, I am tempted to, if I paint up a bunch of Dogs of War, actually like going, oh, is this sort of fun to play or not, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that could be something on the horizon if I have time.
The good thing is, like, you haven't really played much with that cult army anyway. Like, not full army. it's always been slow grow.
Yeah, it's only been slow growth. So
Yeah.
this is the first time it was 2,000 points. It's the first time I've got to use a Lord character.
Yeah,
Next month, so well, not the end of this month. So wait, so I'm going to Castle this weekend. At the end of this month is the 6 Ed tournament in Melbourne. So that will be an opportunity to use it a fair bit, which will be fun because I'm packing the cult to that. But yeah, it's weird. There's not many other sort of the old world tournaments going on in Victoria yet. There's just the 6 Ed one, and then my campaign. It's just so bizarre.
It's bizarre.
And to be honest, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, I feel like this amount of stuff I've got on my plate, I just can't see myself running anything else aside from doing the podcast, the campaign, and just the other hobby stuff. Like if I was trying to run something else on top of that, it'd just be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I like when I was doing CanCon, it was really stressful for me doing everything else. And because I was doing the slow grow then, I was doing this, and it was like it really ate into a lot of my like normal living lifetime. I'm not sure. I'm not keen on doing that again, unless it's something I can run really simply with a minimal input, or someone else is helping me do it, or something. But really, it's like this is a lot of hobby time as it is, just doing what we're doing every week.
It seems like there's lots in Queensland, obviously lots in WA, and New South Wales taking off. It seems to always be conflicting with things. Like Good Games went and put the bloody tournament on same time as Castle again. Like it's like,
did they?
Really
Oh
think?
my god!
Yeah.
Why? Why would they do that?
Like, I feel like emailing them, going, "Come on, guys, what are you doing?"
Yeah, just look at the schedule. We've got a Facebook group. We've got a Facebook group.
Yeah. Anyway, cool.
Anyway,
let's
go on.
Transition quickly to so like I said at the beginning, we'll do a look out for a YouTube video. I could probably audioify and put it out in the podcast as well as a bonus episode for going through all the lists and matchups and stuff. And we'll have ASB on, who knows way more about matchups than us, so that might be fun. But it's just going to be such a monster effort because there's 52 players, so 26 matchups. Like, we didn't want to do that today. It's just going to be too much. So, but what I did want to bring up is we did get, like I said, we got the matchups, round one matchups. But the funny thing I wanted to open with was, and I'll just share my screen once I click out of the right thing, was someone, I don't know who did it. Someone's just gone through the lists once we got them. And the S, A, B, C, D tier on, which I thought was funny. And the top, the S tier, right at the top there, is Mr. Andrew Stein's vampire list.
The favorite going in.
There's 4 S tiers. So Andrew's the Ben Cray Warriors, which is basically the list I played at Belcon.
Yep.
I don't know. Do you guys know Odin Collins, Chaos Dwarves? Do you know Odin?
No,
I don't. And then Frank, who runs the rank bonus, is it called? Rank bonus
console. Yeah.
With Alex, his high elves are on there. He's got the souped up, Star Dragon and big blocks of sisters and whatever it is. Well, what are they? Not sisters. What are they called? What's the Sea Guard and stuff? So it looks like a pretty scary list.
Oh yeah.
So they're up there on S tier, which is kind of funny. I just thought funny seeing Andrew right at the top too. It's on the actual top of the list.
I love looking at my list.
No pressure.
I didn't even think it was that strong. I'm like, surely not. I'm like, how
many
up there?
Like, what is it? Because like the Ogre Blade, and is it 2 screams? 3? No, 2.
2 screams.
Yeah, because you got 2 terrors.
It was, I think, because is his name Feared? I think.
Chat. Oh, that's who did it. Yes, that's who put it together.
I think he said,
I don't know who that is here though. Oh, no, it's Ungabunga. Is it?
Oh, okay.
I'm going to get that wrong. Maybe it's not.
Well, I think he was saying because it got 3 big monsters, but one of them's not like the Abyssal Terror is terrible in combat.
Yeah.
It's not scary at all. But yeah, I think the Vamps, the Vamp with the Ogre Blade is a bit of a cheesy sort of monster. And the Blood Knights are sort of up there at the moment. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, lots of pressure.
Yeah, bit of pressure there, isn't it? Yeah. And then my one ended up in the A tier with Ben. I will go through these obviously during the week. I'll probably have a couple here. I did look at Paddy's. I could bring Paddy's up in a minute because I saw Paddy in there in the A.
Yeah, go for
and
it.
James Wallace's Orcs as well. And then mine, they rated my Tomb King in A, which I guess I would probably too now that the Archer block works the way it does. I don't know if I'm an A player, so I'd probably put me back more in that B range. But yeah, I don't know. And then where'd you end up there? They rated yours a B, which is probably like Joshua Crouch, Brett's B. It's interesting. So how do you get to an A with the Bretts? Like, what's Cam? I haven't even looked at it. Did you look at Cam White's list yet, Josh, at all? Or?
I did look at it. I'm not sure if I. Oh, I do have it in front of me. There it is. He's actually taken Lady Elise in his list, which is interesting. Maybe it's because he's got 2 units of 4 Peg Knights. Maybe that's.
And what's yours?
He's got, what else has he got?
2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 units of 3.
Yeah, that'll be it. Probably.
There's not a huge amount more that's different. Like he's got an extra paladin. Yeah, I'm not sure why his is. I'm not sure the difference, to be honest. Why is the separate tier either way? Maybe it's just the number of flying units. I don't know.
Yeah, no idea.
Well,
how
I hate
actually
flying
rated
units,
them.
so maybe it might be. It might be flies.
Yeah,
because I've got all the bat swarms, so could be.
I've totally lost my screen here of the one I'm sharing. So I mustn't have shared the thing I thought I was going to share, but that's okay. I'll just keep moving it down. Cool. Yeah. And then, I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're all the matchups. Obviously, you're playing. Oh, sorry. These are lists. Is there anything else here? What's the deal with Anthony Solari, Tomb Kings on an F? Is that just a joke, or did you guys look at that list? Because I looked at it, didn't look bad. So maybe they're.
It's a little personal.
Oh.
Or is Anthony Solari the guy who then made this list? So he put it down as an F. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Because his list was. So I've shared the wrong.
Oh, it's a royal host, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a royal host list. So I shared the wrong screen. That's why I was a bit confused. I want to do the entire screen, which is this one. I'll just jump to here. Yeah, there it is. That's Paddy's. Yeah, his was the royal host, which I guess, I mean, I wouldn't say it's I don't know. I wouldn't say it's an F. It's 2 Tomb Kings on chariots in probably 2 units of 4 Tomb Guard chariots, and then more chariots, and then a big block of poison archers with the so how many guys is that? That's 27 archers, but in front is the 18 spear guys. Banner of the Desert Wind, so reserve move. 4 Sharpties, a Tomb Scorp, and 20 different, like 2 lots of 10 skirmishing archers with scouting, 2 lots of 6 skeleton horse archers. It's just a lot of infantry and all that sort of stuff, but and no monsters, but still lots of chariots and shooting. So who knows? And fast. So not sure what the story there is. Find out at some point.
How does that work with 2 Tomb Kings? Like, who's the magical being?
Oh, you'd have to pay one of them. The guy would have to pay the 30, 25 or 35 points, whatever, and you come a level 1. Then you're the Hierophant, basically.
The Hierophant, yep. Okay.
Yep.
Right.
As far as I remember. I mean, yeah. Cool.
Okay, actually, so it's a low magic Tomb Kings list then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it doesn't have so it doesn't have magic, doesn't have a monster. So it could be right, but at the same time,
maybe that's why.
I don't know. Yeah. It just seems to be very low. I would have thought it'd still do a bit of damage, but I don't know. I've never played anything without the dragon, so I don't know. I keep switching screens.
The dragon crutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paddy's brought a treeman. which is pretty cool. She's brought the big souped up Glade Lord Dragon as well. That's this one's pretty good. I mean, it's not up. It's up there. I mean, it's probably doesn't dish out the damage, but it can tank things. These forest dragons, as far as I can see, especially with that annoyance of netlings. So strength 7 dragon. I mean, they're pretty good, and it's got Ogre Blade on there.
Yeah. Ooh.
Pretty good. Flying, battle magic. So potentially two what's it called? 2 fireballs running around. And isn't that Oaken Stave? Is that the one that does the dispel thing? Yeah. So you can just totally stay out of range of stuff. So if you get like what's called pillar off, you can just stay out of range because they can just never get you. You can still dispel because you've got like a 27-inch dispel.
Yeah.
So you can play around with that. The thing, I mean, I haven't looked at Wood Elves much, but then the rest, I was thinking this would have like sisters, and there's no sisters in this, which is refreshing, I guess.
Yeah.
But man, their core must be expensive because it's like 7 Glade Riders, 10 Glade Guard, 16 Wood Scouts, and 9 Dryads, and your core's gone. It's not a lot of bodies.
Not a lot of minis, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, War Dancer. So it's very. I mean, when I looked at it, I thought I was going to see a much, I should say, scarier list. I know Paddy can play, so I think it's probably going to be fine. But I just think it's not what you're seeing as the meta for higher Wood Elves, which is cool. I like it. Apart from, I mean, obviously, it's got a Glade Lord Dragon, so it's...
With the characters, so this is a probably good example of the difference between like 50% and 40%. If this was 40% with a Dragon Glade Lord, that's 550 points. If she only had 800 points to spend on, it actually creates a bit of a dilemma about what you spend those other 250 points on. It almost gets harder to fit in that level 4 if you've got a fighting combat lord on a dragon, and so sometimes that might add a bit more of a window for level 2s to come in and that type of thing potentially.
That's true. So you can sort of solve a couple of problems with one thing just by bumping that back to 40%.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah.
Anyway,
I did want to. The other A list or S or A was the James Wallace's Orcs, which I think the reason being. Sorry.
I was saying Jim. Yep.
No, this is a different Jim. This is James Wallace, different one.
Oh yeah, Jim. Yeah, another Jim. Isn't it Jim?
Oh, is this Jim's one? Oh,
no,
sorry, I've got the.
Not Jim.
It's Sexy's
list.
Jim. It is Jim Wallace. It's just come up as James Wallace. I thought I opened a different army list. This is his Night Goblin list. Yeah, and that's an A, isn't it? Didn't they put him as an A?
Yeah, it was an A.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, so it is actually. Yeah, sorry, I've got confused here because it had James and then Jim. Yeah, so that's his list where he's actually playing. He's playing Dave's Dwarves round, which they already played in Belcon. Round 1.
Yeah.
So that's a bit frustrating because didn't he get shot up pretty bad too?
Yeah, I think he had the problem where the Fanatics are counted as shooting. Not.
Right.
Yeah, a lot. Something like that. Like it hits the War Machine.
Yes, that.
I'm sure he'll play it different, but
that's one good thing. I mean, it's a pretty scary list. Like, I mean, it doesn't have the monsters, but then all these Fanatics because he does have 30s, and then against dragons he's ready because he's got heaps of combat res in this thing because it's obviously got the red raggedy flag in there as well. And then he's got war machines, and they're all are they shooting? Oh no, they're thrusting spears. So he probably doesn't know. He's just got war machines, I guess. 2 Doom Divers, Goblin Rock Lobber, and then all these Night Goblin Squid Coppers running around. Yeah. No, Jim sent me his pictures of this all finished this week, but I just didn't get him up in here in time to put on the podcast. So that's cool. Okay, I was just totally confused tonight. Cool. Well, that's Sexy's list. Hopefully he gives Dave a run for his money on the rematch. See how that goes. I'm assuming Dave will take the same dwarf army. I'd imagine. I didn't open it yet.
Oh, I believe I had a look at it. It looks very similar. Yeah.
Cool. And then the other thing I thought was just talking about matchups. So this is the annoying thing. You're playing The Buy Buster, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's a bit annoying.
Kendall.
Just yeah.
But there's a good chance I
Un-
won't play him. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's a good
Right,
chance you
okay.
won't. Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
don't know who you will play then. That's the
Yeah,
only problem. Yeah.
Yeah, but then they won't know they're playing you either. So it's
True.
Exactly.
evens out.
Yeah,
Still
that's
fair.
true. Yeah.
And I've got the cheese dick list, so I should so you have a good chance.
Yeah,
What's the new
that's
acronym?
right.
D
Don't be a cheese dick. DBACD. Is it?
Back
Debacad. Debacad. Yeah.
There you go. I'm a cheese dick.
Angus grudged me, so we get a game on. So that'd be fun. I guess we probably won't cover our game on the review whenever we do it tomorrow. And then you're playing John Hammond. Is he taking Empire? No. That was some. Oh, I was looking at Kieran Pink's taking Empire. What's John taking? John Hammond. Because he's a local Newcastle dude.
Oh, he's taking Brett's.
Oh, really? Okay. Brett
Yeah.
off.
Another Brett
Okay.
off. That's right. I had a Brett off the first game of Gathering Darkness, and now another
Yeah.
Brett off for the first game of Castle Assault.
I haven't played Brett's yet. I'm sort of I'm worried about Brett's. I'm worried about like the ones who don't have monsters in a way.
Yeah.
It's funny because that's I
Hey,
sort of want
Josh.
to fight them, but
Yeah.
Can I ask you, being a Britannian player, and you do enjoy the fluff, do you feel sad when you have to play another Britannian player? Because it's like you should be out killing orcs and like things like that, but some infighting. Like when I play dwarf players, for some reason it makes me sad. I'm like, oh, we should
yeah.
be killing
Yeah,
Skaven
there's
and
no-
getting the holds back.
Yeah. If it was like an Exiles list, I could probably justify it more easily. But
Okay.
yeah, there's no valid fluff reason as to why we should be battling each other. You're absolutely
So
right.
you can't
Okay.
tell we're not a fluff podcast. Can't.
Yeah, I get a bit sad
Yeah.
when I do that. Anyway,
No, that's a good point. I've always mostly played Bad Army, so I don't really care. And then Empire can probably have a legitimate Empire, especially in this version, I'm assuming, given all the civil war it's going through. But everything else I've got is bad for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Even high elves, you feel like they might be able to fight each other, but for some reason, your Bretonia just seems
probably.
unimpeachably honourable. It just feels sad.
Oh, cool. Well, that's the matchups. They're all there. And as I said, we'll talk to ASB. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow we'll get a recording out at the time that you're listening to this. It will be today. No, I don't know. I'm getting confused. We'll get a full rundown of all these games and see what we think and predictions for round one. That'll be fun. Anything else you want to cover with Castle or any other list? Did you have any, Andrew, that you wanted to talk about, or we'll just talk about them?
oh, I did. There's a couple I thought were pretty interesting, but I was going to get them up, but because the drama that I was having with this setup in the shed,
it's just too
didn't
hard.
get time to go back through them.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
But we'll we don't need to. This
get 'em
might
for
actually
tomorrow.
be a shorter episode, which I think will just tie people over for a bigger one. Like obviously we got that one. I don't know. We'll try get another bonus episode during the weekend, won't we? I think we were saying we might be able to. Be cool to just, even if it's after.
Oh,
round
in
one, or
Newcastle?
I don't know. Yeah, while you're up here, and then we might even get a game in.
that'd
Who
be-
knows?
that'd be
I mean,
cool.
We're going to get Castle
Yeah.
games in, so yeah.
Yeah.
I'm-
Obviously. It'd be funny if
I'm
one
not-
of us plays each other during
know,
the tournament.
yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it happened last year too, so who knows?
Oh, it did.
Um,
I think we played each other first round, wasn't it? Isn't that?
Yes, it was.
It was-
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
the
and I
first
hadn't
game.
literally
Yeah.
talked to you since like for years, probably. And I was like, "Oh, good, I got Josh. Awesome." That was funny. And so, old World Fanatics began.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty
Pretty
much. If
much.
that game hadn't happened, I feel like this wouldn't
Yeah.
have happened.
Might not have. That's right.
It's fate.
To me, it was that. It was that, and then listening to ASB talk, and after I think must have been the after game 3, someone was talking, or maybe it was the end, and he was talking about like the War Dolly podcast, and I was like, "Oh, is that?" And I hadn't even listened to it, so then I was listening to it, and then I I just realised there was a couple of dudes doing those 6 Ed podcasts, and that's right. Oh, well, might as well start one. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we have Castle Assault. It's going to be a crazy weekend, I think.
Well,
Try and behave, but we'll see.
so many beers.
I know. That's what I'm worried about for Saturday. I'm going to try. I mean, I will drink, but I'm going to try not be stupid. Because
Well, you can blame it on the beer. If you're going terrible, you just.
Oh, I don't care about we're losing. That's fine. It's just I don't want to be sick the next day. So.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, we'll probably end up calling this one early, guys. So everyone gets an early mark, which is unheard of. Old World Fanatics.
I guess we're going to do it occasionally so that when we say it's going to be a short episode, people at least have some degree of possibility of believing that it might happen.
Keep them guessing.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, I'm looking at some other techie podcasts, like different stuff, and looking at building this like podcast management product thing that I told Andrew about. I don't know if I've talked to you, Josh, but we'll catch up on it one day. But I was looking at my old podcast I did on the tech thing last year, and all the episodes. 'Cause I had just me and another guy were doing it, and they're all like 30, 40 minutes long. And I saw it and went, God, that's short. One of the episodes is like 25 minutes. But I'm like, I think in the tech world, that's pretty good for a podcast because you don't want to like, bore people. No one's sitting around painting like they are with Warhammer.
Yeah, I think that's like the normal length of most podcasts these days.
Totally. We just blow that out of the water usually. Cool. Anyway, well, having said that, if I don't shut up, it'll hit the 2-hour mark again. So I'm going to let everyone go.
Yeah,
Listening to another
You're trying to get it to 2 hours.
I know. Just keep rambling for half an hour. If you enjoy those weekly ramblings and even this short one, please give us a 5-star review and hit the subscribe buttons on YouTube. And once again, like at the beginning, we talked about the Patreons. If you want to jump over and support us, you can do that at patreon.com/oldworldfanatics as well, when we really love that. But up until then, we'll see you. We're going to do Castle Assault episode. We'll see you 2 on Friday, and we'll do some more bonus episodes. Lots of stuff coming this week, guys. So yeah, until then, we'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.
Yep. All right. See ya.
Ciao.